What's going on, guys? You somehow haven't heard, the Devils today traded Taylor Hall to the Arizona Coyotes, and it wasn't 1-for-1. They actually got a huge haul back, including Nate Schnarr, Nick Merkley, Kevin Bahl, and a couple first-round picks. So some pretty decent prospects there, and it could be 1 or 2 first-round picks based on the conditions. So again, pretty nice haul there for Taylor Hall. Devils also added Blake Spears to the trade, I think, just for contract purposes. So we're going to add it all here on Arizona's side. Then the Devils side, kind of see where the trade value matches up and whether or not this trade would go through. So I think the best prospect in terms of trade value is actually Nick Merkley. I heard people saying the Devils wanted Dvorak, they wanted Soderstrom, Hayton, Chychrun, Ekman Larson. Arizona, though, they probably wanted Keller too. Arizona, though, was not willing to give that up, which makes sense. I mean, they're trying to win right now, and all those guys, aside from Soderstrom, are part of the team right now, helping them win. And obviously, Soderstrom, pretty high price there for what most likely will be a rental in Taylor Hall. I feel like because he didn't sign immediately with Arizona after he got traded, there's a very good chance Hall just wants to go to UFA and get paid as much as he can, plus choose exactly where he wants to play, which I think at this point in his career is definitely his right. So, like I was saying, Nick Merkley has the highest trade value of the prospects. 22 years old, 78 overall, medium top 6, was actually a former first-round pick, 30th overall, so just in the first round there, back in 2015. Right now playing in the AHL, not doing too bad. I think he's got like 16 points, 28 games, something like that. You then have Bahl here, defensive prospect, 19 years old, 66 overall, low top 4, currently in junior. I think he was a second-round pick there in 2018. And lastly, Nate Schnarr. He's actually in the AHL right now, but he's not in the game. One of those guys that just hasn't been added yet. Had like over 100 points last year in junior playing for the Guelph Storm. Now, he was a third-round pick. Steenbergen here, 21 years old, he's a year older, was a 5th-round pick. And as you can see, 66 overall with medium top 9 potential. I'm pretty sure Schnarr's like a 60 with medium top 9, but he's a year younger, so should have similar value there to Steenbergen in terms of the trade. So the draft picks here, they get a guaranteed first-round pick, I believe 2020. And then for 2021, there's a ton of conditions on the pick, so it's a bit hard to follow, but I think Pierre LeBrun did a pretty good job in breaking it down. Basically, like I was mentioning, the first-rounder in 2020 is guaranteed, unless it's a top 3 pick, then they just get a first-rounder in 2021, but pretty much it's not going to be a top 3 pick. So in that case, they get the first rounder in 2020. In 2021, they get another first rounder if Taylor Hall resigns to the Coyotes and they win a playoff round. Now, if one of those two things happens, they get a second. So let's say don't win a playoff round, but Hall resigns, which I don't think he's going to if they don't win a playoff round. So better chance they win a playoff round, Hall still doesn't resign, they get a second. But if they don't win a playoff round and Hall doesn't resign, all they get there is the third in 2021. So still, like, pretty much guaranteed to get a first and a third, along with a few decent prospects. We'll see, whether or not the Devils will take this. I have the difficulty set to medium. I feel like it's usually the most accurate for real-world trades. I always like to have it on hard, though, just to make it more realistic down the road in franchise. So, Taylor Hall there, obviously a very good player. Won the Hart Trophy a couple years ago. 27 years old, 89 overall, first-line forward, elite potential. First overall pick back in 2020. I mean, obviously, he's worth a bit more right now, I think, than Adam Larson. You guys can see the MVP season, 93 points in 76 games. Obviously, the big worry with Hall has always been his health. Last year, only played 33 games, but had 37 points. A few years before that, only had 53 games played, but, I mean, he should be healthy. And again, tons of trade value there. You can actually see in-game here, he's only got 70 durability, but 95 speed in XL, sick hand, sick shot. I mean, there's a reason he was drafted first overall. And like I was saying, Blake Spears, I believe, is just an add-on, so he should have almost no value here. Yeah, as you can see, it's quite low. It's actually about equal with Steenbergen, who's filling in with Schnarr, so those probably counteract each other. Now, Arizona will be over the league maximum salary cap. Devils are actually retaining 50% here of Hall's contract, so that's another thing, too. If Arizona re-sign him, they're definitely going to have to shed some cap for next year. Obviously, Hall's going to be getting paid a lot more than $3 million. So, looking at the trade here, the value is on the Devils side by a little bit, so I feel like they're not going to say yes, even though they're a rebuilder. Hall's not on the block. Arizona here is hopeful, but real life right now, I didn't even mention, they're first place in the Pacific, so like I was saying, they should not be getting a top 3 pick, and the Devils, I think, are second last in the East, only above the Red Wings, so I don't know if Arizona stays first in the Pacific, but they really should be making the playoffs, especially after this trade. Let's see what the Devils say here in game. Trades rejected, so I kind of figured that was going to happen. I feel like a second might get it done, and for sure, 2 firsts should get it done, so we'll try here with a second. Again, this is either winning a playoff round, Hall doesn't resign, or no playoff round wins, but Hall does resign. See what the Devils say. Trade still rejected, so let's see if they do win a playoff round and Hall resigns, in which case 2 first-round picks there for a rental with those prospects. Honestly, that's a pretty good return, I think, for ratio on the Devils. Here we go. Trade is still rejected. So in-game, EA feels like Arizona definitely won this trade. And here's a look at their lines after adding Taylor Hall. I do my best to keep them authentic based on what people are saying they should be online. So first line here, you have Hall, Dvorak, and Kessel. Honestly, really curious to see how Kessel does playing with Taylor Hall. It should be a lot of fun to watch. You got Schmaltz, Soderberg, and Keller on the second line. Kraus, Steffen, Hinestroza on the third line, and then we have Fisher, Richardson, and Grabner on the fourth line. As well, too, right now I have Garland scratched. He's the lowest rated in NHL. In real life, he's probably playing over like Fisher or somebody, but just kind of want to show you guys what they could look like when all healthy. Honestly, very solid lines there. Personally, I feel like Soderberg's more of a third line center. Steffen's probably on the second line. Other than that, though, it's not too bad. Defense here when healthy is pretty solid. You got Ekman-Larsson and Jarmelson on the top pair. Goligoski and Chychrun. Goligoski's honestly quietly having a very solid season. Chychrun, of course, young, finally healthy. And when he's healthy, obviously, he's a big part of that D-core. And then bottom pair there, you got Osterley and Demers. So pretty solid D, obviously, led by Ekman-Larsson, their number one D-man. And then goalies, probably the biggest reason why the Coyotes are just playing so well this year is just the play of Darcy Kuemper. He's just been amazing. As well, Ranta's still a really solid goalie behind him. So Kuemper has an off night. Obviously, Ranta can fill in just fine. So the Coyotes looking like a bit of a wagon right now, as Biz would say. Very excited to see how they do. Hopefully, too, they make the playoffs. Would suck if they trade for Hall and don't make the playoffs. Like, that would just be terrible. Also, too, I want to give you guys your first look at Taylor Hall as an Arizona Coyote. Also, too, he actually changed his number. When he got traded to New Jersey, he went from 4 to 9. And going from New Jersey to Arizona, he's actually changed it from 9 to 91. So, right there's Halsey on the Coyotes. Rocking, should be 91. I swear I switched it. I don't know why it's not doing that, but I'll show you guys what Hall looks like as an Arizona Coyote with the number 91. Honestly, it looks a little weird seeing him have 91. Like, I was so used to seeing him at 4 after watching him on the Spitfires, and then, of course, on the Oilers. Kind of got used to the number 9 on the Devils, but now 91. Definitely a bit weird. Also, too, I thought it'd be cool to kind of show Hall in the alternate jersey because everyone loves it. And I think, too, he's actually the new highest rated player on this team, so he should show up if we just go to play a game here. You'll be able to actually see him in all the different Coyotes jerseys. Could even see him in like a throwback Jets jersey if we really wanted to. So Coyotes there, 91 offense now with Hall. And let's see here, the alternate. That doesn't look too bad, I'm not going to lie. Halsey there with the alternate. And then can we see the Jets? That looks a little bit weird. And next year, guys are trying to trade from the Devils' perspective. Obviously, Arizona is interested in Taylor Hall. I mean, who wouldn't be? Kind of surprising, though. The Devils aren't interested in anything they're getting back. Few prospects there, the 2 first-round picks. As a rebuilder, they should be wanting some of this stuff, so I'm not sure why they don't. Now, look at the trade value here. It looks to be pretty equal. Obviously, the Devils said no to this when we tried to trade as Arizona, but I feel like this might go through. As you can see, we're trying the 2 first-round picks first. If it doesn't work, we'll lower it to the second, then the third. Also, too, forgot to show you guys Blake Spears. Again, I feel like it was mostly an add-on. 22-65, medium top 9. Like a decent AHL play right now. Really nothing more than that. So, we'll see here. Do Arizona say yes to this trade? Trade rejected. Okay, so it's actually looking like a pretty fair trade. Again, the difficulty is still on medium, so we'll say that they win a playoff round, but Hall doesn't resign, which means they get a second-round pick. See if this trade goes through. And there we go. Okay, so if they win a playoff round, Hall doesn't resign, first and the second, and the trade goes through. So, not a bad trade. And check this out, guys. I feel like the Devils could honestly flip half the stuff they got back for Taylor Hall to get Adam Larsson back on the team, in which case they essentially got paid a first-round pick to take Taylor Hall for a few years. So, offering Edmonton Merkley on a second here. Let's see what they say. The value's on our side. They want both things. And there we go. So, they just got Adam Larsson back, and they have a first-round pick after having Taylor Hall for a few years. Not too bad. And after the trade, guys, obviously the Devils are still a rebuilder. But I'll show you guys the lines, though. Definitely looking a bit rough now without Taylor Hall, especially since they didn't get any NHL players back in the trade. So, first line there, you got Brad Hischier, Palmieri, Gustav Zajac, Coleman on the second line. Apparently, Hughes is playing third line right now for them. I don't really get that. I definitely feel like he should be in the top 6. I mean, they actually have like a decent amount of forward depth. They really have no superstar, especially after trading Hall. Hughes and Hischier definitely going to have to step up next year for them if they want to be competitive. Defense here, Subban obviously underperforming huge right now. He's got to get back to that game. We know he can play. Looking at the rest of their defense there, it's not too bad. Like Butcher, Vatanen, both offensive guys. Mueller, Severson. I think for them, really, the biggest issue is goaltending. Like Blackwood, I feel he's kind of a fringe starter, good backup, not really a true starter. Domingue is a backup. Schneider obviously is in the AHL right now, so they got to find themselves a starting goaltender. Try and find maybe, I mean, the defense, if Subban can just return to form next year, they probably are okay. Definitely need to add, I'd say, a couple top 6 forwards, though, so looks like they're back in a rebuild, and I can see why Hall wasn't going to resign. Like, he already had to deal with the rebuild in Edmonton, doesn't have to worry about another one now with New Jersey, which is why I really think he's going to go to free agency, pick whatever team he wants, get paid, maybe even give up a bit of money to go to a more competitive team, so that should be fun once, you know, free agency rolls around, see what happens there. But that's going to be it, guys, for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, leave that thumbs up. We'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on the trade in the comment section. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching. Have a nice day. Goodbye.